Today I'm going to show you how to paint a base. That's right, we're finally talking about basing. Basing is something that is an aspect of the hobby that some people entirely derive their hobby fun from. It is crucially important, and it's also something that I really overlook sometimes. So I set myself a little bit of a mission. I wanted to try and take an idea for a base design, something that I've kind of wanted to do for a while anyway, work on it, try and perfect it, try and find a way to do a particular design of base as well as I possibly could. I decided, with that in mind, to work on a lava base, something that I experimented with back eons ago when I painted the avatar of Cain for this very channel. And I really wasn't happy with the results, so I've gone to the drawing board, tried to figure a few things out, and I think I've come up with my perfect lava base. Okay, so for my initial idea, I want to spray a gradient onto a plain base. My thinking is that I'm going to spray a gradient on, then I'm going to apply a smooth coat over the top, and then I'm going to apply a crackle paint. Now the reason for the smooth coat is because that helps the crackle paint expand more. It gives you bigger cracks, gives you more of a lava-y looking thing. So you can see here I'm just building up first of all that colour gradient, and once I've got it all the way up to yellow, then I'm going to start thinking about a smooth coat. For my first gambit, I thought just a few coats of gloss varnish. So you can see me here hammering on some gloss varnish. I put more on than that. And then the crackle paint I've decided to go with is Mordant Earth from Citadel. I love this crackle paint. So I'm going to plaster that all over onto my nice smooth gloss varnished layer. Get it all nice and neat. I do thin this a bit as well. Mordant Earth I think cracks better if it's thinned slightly. But you can see here, even while I'm trying to dry brush this red now to pick out the cracks a bit more, but they're just not really that present. They're very small and they're not very deep. So that tells me I need a thicker layer of Mordant Earth. And it also tells me I need that to crack more. Okay, so attempt one, not great. Those cracks they're too thin. It's not quite got the impact. It's not got that sort of power of like cracked earth, lava underneath kind of thing going on. But I'm pretty sure I know where I went wrong. So let's figure that out. Let it never be said that Mr. Shy does not learn from his mistakes. So instead of gloss varnish, we're going to use some PVA glue now. We're going to smear this all over. There was a little bit of yellow paint left in my brush here, but that doesn't matter. It's not going to make any difference. I don't believe this. I fucked up again. Okay, not tragic this time though. I wanted to use PVA glue, but the glue that I grabbed was Gorilla Glue. Now, Gorilla Glue is it's very similar to PVA glue, but one crucial difference is it doesn't really dry very clear. It dries with this sort of milky, yellowy sort of colour, which is obviously going to block out our underpainting. So it's not going to ruin the plan because it's still got a very smooth surface and it's still going to do what I want it to do. But I am going to now have to put some colour back over the top of it because I'm going to lose all of that nice fade that we sprayed onto the base. Okay, let's get this actually fixed. So I'm just doing, essentially I did a couple of like wet blends with contrast paint here. I used Eandon Yellow and Flesh Tearers Red on top of that dried layer of Gorilla Glue. And now I'm going to do a really thick, nicely thinned down layer of Mordant Earth. You can kind of get a glimpse of just how thin it is. I'll do a little brush sweepy. And then we need to sit and let this dry, which is going to take about an hour.
A few moments later.
As if I'd do that to you. I wasn't going to skip to it being dry this time. I want that satisfying shot. So here's a time lapse of an hour's worth of drying condensed down into about 40 seconds. And look at it go. We can already see here that the theory that we've applied is benefiting us. Those cracks are bigger, they're wider because the surface is not as good for the paint to adhere to. So as it starts to, that astringent effect, and it starts to close up and tear away from itself, it leaves us with these nice big deep cracks that look really effective. And of course we don't just want to see it as a bass on its own, we want to see it with a bit of context as well. So here is a Harlequin that I've just underlit with the airbrush. I've literally just sprayed it black all over and then undersprayed it with red just to give an idea of that lavary glow, and look how sweet that is. Honestly, you could just take like some blue greys here and highlight the top surfaces of this and you'd be happy to call that like a done miniature. And there you have it, a lava bass done my way. A couple of important lessons learned over the journey there, but you know, we got there in the end, and I think the result that we came up with, especially when you see it in context with like an underlit miniature sitting on top of it, fuck me, that's cool. I really, really like it. So please share with me your basing ideas down in the comments. I'd love to hear specific types of basses that you'd really like to see, because at some point I'd quite like to do a video where I just try and do like a few different cool basses and really try and hone those skills. It's something I'm keen to get a lot better at. So folks, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channels. That really helps me get seen and that is very important. But until next week, I'll see you soon.